Right, you know texting while driving is a bad idea, but you do it anyway. Most people do, because you feel it's important to send that message. Really? Is it that important? Is it more important than your life and the lives of other people? A police department in Britain is pulling no punches in trying to scare teens out of texting behind the wheel. I'm going to caution you, and I'm going to go slowly here, because if you have kids in the room or if you want to get out, go ahead. This is very difficult to watch, but you need to see it. It could save your life. Take a look.
Hi, Dave. My mate Jules fancies you.
Pass.
It's not funny.
It's not even funny now.
Let me just get his number.
In the...
Bring an ambulance! Bring an ambulance! Stay still! I can't open the door. I've rung an ambulance.
We've got other people on the route to help, okay?
Please, just look straight at me for a second.
3 vehicles have been involved.
Right.
2 people in the vehicle there. I can't get any response out of them whatsoever.
The ones in the front or the ones in the front?
Mommy, Daddy, wake up! Mommy, Daddy, wake up!
I just can't get any response whatsoever.
I want Mommy and Daddy to wake up.
Any pain in your neck at all? You're nice and still for me. All right. Keep looking at me. All right. Cassie, can you hear me? What's your friend's name in the back? What is it? Jules, is it? No, she's still there for me.
Shocking, graphic, simply horrific, heartbreaking. I've heard all of those words tonight as we watch that tape. The British PSA is designed to scare young drivers away from texting. Will it work? Should something like this be broadcast in this country outside of a newscast? All right, let's talk more about that graphic public service announcement from Britain we just watched. Joining me from New York is Robert Sinclair of the Automobile Club of New York. So, what did you think of that British PSA?
It's very hard-hitting, but that is the reality of the situation. Many people don't get to see the reality of crashes, and yet, for the average person in our country, in the course of their day-to-day existence, there is nothing more dangerous than riding in or operating a motor vehicle. And in fact, there's a study that was just released this week that found that those victims of unintended consequences, the #1 cause of death, we don't say accidents anymore because it implies some measure of fate, and all these things are preventable. But again, #1 cause of death, someone aged birth to 44 years, is a car crash. So that's the reality. It's hard-hitting, but I think we need to show these kind of things.
When you look at just looking at the news isn't enough, because you see stories about subway conductors, train conductors, truck drivers, car drivers causing horrific accidents by texting. So what can we do in the U.S. to create greater awareness about the dangers of texting and driving? Is this a solution, what Britain's doing?
Well, it's part of it, but it all comes down to the fact that we have very poor driver training in this country. Many high schools drop driver's education as soon as some sort of financial difficulty is faced. Now, driver's education in high school is really inadequate, but at least it's a good start to get young people in the proper frame of mind that they should take driving very seriously. But the idea that you can take a 5-hour course and have 20 hours of supervised driving and then be out on the road is ridiculous. If you look at the rest of the world, how stringent the driver training is, we are woefully inadequate. And when you have bad young drivers, they become bad adult drivers.
And some people say maybe they should raise the age for driving. I think it was 15 years old, and that was for a full driver's license when I was a kid.
I believe in the state of Iowa you can get a license at 14 and a half. Well, you know, raising the age might help.
Well, see, but those laws, though, that's what people don't understand, came about when people were farming in rural areas because they needed to make money.
Precisely, and you don't have the mass transit alternative in most parts of the country.
Okay.
Look, you know, the education is the key. And the idea that we can do things like use cell phones and even text. The cell phone is bad enough, but a AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety study found that your crash risk is raised by 4 times when you're using the cell phone. A recent government-funded study found that your crash risk is 23 times greater when you're texting than if you're not.
And here's what's interesting, Mr. Sinclair, is that, you know, that many places have banned handheld use, and you can use the earpiece, but there's really, the research shows there's really not much of a difference because you're concentrating on the conversation. I've got to run here, but just if you give me a yes or no, Transportation Secretary Ray LaHood says ban texting, just like you know, you do with banning handheld devices to your ear. What do you think?
Well, we're getting ready to do it in New York State, and perhaps the rest of the country needs to take that lead. And it's a very dangerous thing to do, and it's going to be banned for everybody in New York State very soon, as soon as the governor signs a bill.
All right, Robert Sinclair, Automobile Club of New York. Thank you.
Thank you.